Hello and welcome to Mad News. Max Korn here, Cub Reporter. Thank you guys so much for joining me on a last-minute stream. We got 8 viewers. How's my sound doing? I've been having sound issues. Seems to be okay. I recorded this. I submitted it for approval this morning, and the first comment was from this guy, Mark. He says, bro, there's no sound. So I had to pull it and, we'll see. Instead of like re-recording it, I thought it might be fun to do a live stream. Who else is here? So we got Mark. Hello. Oh gosh. Tom Richmond, anxiously awaiting breaking news. All right. So some of it might be like, 14 years old. Okay. So I don't know if breaking is what I would describe it as. But news, it is news. Aaron Grimm, nice to see you, man. If you guys haven't already, if you could please just hit that thumb up button. That really helps. Also subscribing to the channel. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. That's as much pushing it as I am willing to do. Friend of the show, Bradford Smith, he reached out to me the other day and he was like, I was going through my collection and I found a pretty cool letter, and I thought that you would you would be interested in it. You might be amused by it. And so he described it to me. I said, will you pretty please with sugar on top, like scan this to me and send it to me? Because I'm eager to know about the details of this letter he told me about. Bobby Weigel, hello, welcome. Taco Ghost, sup y'all? Sup to you. And Sketchy Works, hello. Tom Richmond, I think these are the ellipses of disapproval. Anyway, so this is what I'm going to show you is maybe something you've seen before, but this is an inter-office memo regarding our beloved artist, Dave Berg. And so at the time, this is 1996. And so Jeanette, I think it's Jeanette Kahn, was the editor-in-chief, or maybe she was the publisher, because I thought she had some connection to Mad Magazine too. I could be misremembering though. So she received this memo because apparently she said, I don't want to be in the Dave Berg business anymore. And so John Ficarra and Nick Meglin wrote this up, and I thought it'd be very interesting to go through. Now I've already read through it in my original video. Like I was reacting to it as I was reading it. So I know the contents. So I'm not going to pretend like anything is that big of a surprise to me, but I'll try to give you my thoughts. And if you guys have thoughts on it also, you can just shout it out in a comment. So here we have, oh, that's too zoomed in. Let's see if I can go somewhere in the middle. The challenge: to find one or more alternatives to Dave Berg's The Lighter Side Of. Now, anybody who's watched the show for any period of time, if you know how I feel about Dave Berg. I love Dave Berg early on. Dave Berg, when he first started at Mad, I think is brilliant. The Lighter Side Of is I can't stand it. I find it abhorrent. So the challenge you'll kind of see later on, to find one or more alternatives to Dave Berg's The Lighter Side Of. The reason: the strip only reflects the perspective and values of white, middle-class suburbanites. To which I say, you know what? Screw you, Ficarra and Meglin. I am a middle-class suburbanite white guy. That's not my perspective. And maybe it's some of my values, but it's certainly not my humor. All right. So first off, watch it. All right. You're treading on thin ice already, guys. And then Dave Berg's advancing age, right? I mean, this happens to all of us. We've seen that with so many brilliant mad creators. They get old. Their ability to do what, they've spent their life doing, it declines. And that sucks. And I'll never say, I don't want to say, make fun of somebody for the aging process, because it comes to us all. what I found interesting about this, and I would love to hear other people's opinions, is this idea that the strip only reflects the perspective and values of white middle class suburbanites. Now, what I'm about to say can be true, and also what they're saying is true, but it seems to me that Dave Berg is one of the artists that, on a regular basis, included Black people and people of color in his strips. And I don't think it's because of this memo. I think it's throughout like a long, like I shouldn't say most because I don't really know, but it seems like there was a long period of time that you could go in there and you would see different people. Not the case with all of the mad artists. Like, of course, people of color appear in like movie parodies, but it seems to me like Dave Berg actually had some like thought about that and thoughts about representation, and did seem to include other people besides just white suburbanites. I don't know. Let me know if you disagree with that. Considerations. The lighter side consistently ranks among the highest rated features in readership surveys. Misguided public perception that after 35 years of loyalty by Dave to Mad, we're simply tossing him aside. Readership backlash is possible. Dave's artistic, hold on. Yes, I'm going to pause right there because the next two go together well. So first off, the lighter side of, I feel as though the lighter side of is like the Saturday Night Live of Mad Magazine, right? It's something that everybody has this very strong nostalgic connection to, but it's not that good. Like, you remember reading it as a kid or being like amused by it as a kid or having like these happy memories around Mad Magazine. And that's such a recognizable feature that I think that is nostalgia is what produces that high rating in the readership surveys. Now, the misguided public perception. It's funny that they use that term because it kind of seems like they're simply tossing him aside, right? All right. Yes. So Bradford got this memo from, I do have that answer. And here, I can look it up real quick. I'm going to have to hide my DMs though, because that's a very good question. He got it from madcoversite.com. But it was during one of those Tim Johnson auctions. So he got it in a Tim Johnson auction in 2018. That's how he got a hold of this. Yeah, so here, now I can put this back up. So yeah, I mean, it kind of like the tenor of this does sort of seem like we have to get him out. Not that they felt that way, but at least they were receiving those orders. Now, 3 and 4. Dave's artistic ego and how cutting him back may affect him emotionally. Number 4, Dave's financial well-being. With only 4 appearances per year, we're cutting his income by 2/3. Now, I find this very interesting. 2 things. One is going to be a callous remark, and the other is going to be a remark of understanding, right? That's not how you run a magazine. Right? Like being too overly concerned with emotions and the artist's financial well-being. Like, you can't actually run a magazine like that if you have that level of worry for every single person, right? Like, you want the magazine to do well because the magazine does well, then the artists do well. That's the callous part, and I recognize that. Now, what I love about this is that I always got the sense from like the photographs that Doug Guilford will post from like Annie Gaines of all of the artists and writers on like these mad vacations. This wasn't a normal magazine. Like it was like a family. I don't know, maybe I'm throwing that term around loosely, but from an outsider, that's what it looked like. I mean, they go on these yearly vacations together. They're laughing. They're like, they got their arms around each other, and it's like, it's heartwarming. And the fact that their boss is saying like, I want to get out of the Dave Berg business. And like, they're sending this, like, you need to understand, like, this is our friend and we care about him. like cut it out. So anyway, I don't know. Take that for what it's worth. Number 5, the unlikely but possible chance that Dave would be picked off by Cracked and all the bad press that would follow such a disastrous development. We know for a fact that Cracked has already made overtures to other longtime Mad artists who have seen the amount of work that they're receiving from us diminish recently. Hold on. Where is it? Exhibit A. Exhibit A. Don Martin. I mean, this is in 1989, right? So this is like quite a long time ago, relatively speaking. But talking to Mort Todd in my recent interview, he talked about this. He talked exactly about this, where artists were having their pages cut, not getting good page rates, and Cracked is like, we'll give you pages. We can guarantee you pages. And he had several Mad artists and writers working under nom de plumes, pseudonyms for Cracked magazine. I think one that we talked about specifically was Rurik Tyler. That was somebody working under a pseudonym. And so, yeah, that is a real possibility. I don't know that how unlikely would that be? That was already happening to quite a few artists. Demands of the replacement, like the lighter side of the feature, must be very reader friendly and easily accessible. 100% true that is what lighter side is. Fairly quick, multiple payoffs, i.e. 14 situations in 4 pages, making each a strong comment, joke, or observation. Here, I want to go to real quick the chat, just because there were some other folks who had some thoughts. What up? I don't know what the letter E means. I finished recording a scene for a movie. I'm tired. Oh, dang, dude! Congratulations. That's awesome. Another E. What does it mean? What does this mean? I just finished making a scene. Wait, did I just read the same one twice? No, he commented it twice. Again, congratulations. I love Dave Berg, Alex Pelko. I know you don't. That's okay, though. And it's okay that you love him. Like, thankfully, we all don't have to like the same things. It's like, who is that guy? That old Roger Miller, the old country musician. It takes all kinds to make a world. That's what they said. Change the world. My final message. Goodbye. All right. Thank you. Hanna-Barbera made a Mad TV show pilot, but it is lost. That'd be very interesting. Anyway. I skipped over this. Hey, Patrick, I found some Don Martin sort of Matchbox trucks. Would you like one if I find another? I think I might have them. I know Mad Magazine did a thing with Hot Wheels where there's like, there were 5. There's 2 Spy versus Spy, a Don Martin, a regular Mad, and then something else. I might have it. I don't know. Send me a picture, though. Post a picture on the Facebook group. Anyway, moving on. Let's get back into this memo. This is a 2-page memo. Like, they typed this out, man. This is nuts. Immediate solutions. Strengthen the lighter sides that we do run. Reduce Berg's pages from 4 per issue, but keep the same number of gags, approximately 14, in the future. This will be accomplished by designing a new layout and reducing Dave's artwork a greater percentage than is currently being done. Okay, that's like jargon. I don't understand that. I understand all of those words separately, but not together in a paragraph. Continue to pay Dave at the 5-page rate, even though he's being dropped to 4. Again, 1, those are like kind friends who care about this man. 2, that's not how you run a magazine. I know, and I understand that I'm saying that as somebody who has never run a magazine. Okay, so the irony is not lost on me. Here, identify specific areas that we want to cover, i.e., an immigrant's life in America in the 90s, inner city schools, hip hop fashion. Would that I don't know if I don't know to the extent to which these solutions were implemented, but would that work? Like, would having Dave Berg write about an immigrant's experience work? I don't know. Commission the writing of a second and third installment of the Mad World of, a segment I'm not familiar with. So perhaps they just had one. On two of the topics identified in number 3, BK Taylor continues as artist. Unresolved problems. Locate writers and artists who have specific firsthand knowledge of the subject areas we wish to explore and who are able and willing to supply us with a steady stream of material. This is, without question, the biggest challenge we face. I'm going to come back to that one. If it's agreed it is needed, develop a third replacement feature. So it's like this is a lot of ideas that sound a lot of like, come to some financial arrangement with Dave. I'm assuming that would be like a payment to leave. What is that called? What is that called when you get fired? A severance package, right? I'm assuming that's what that means. Comments: by initially alternating just the lighter side and Mad World offers several advantages. It allows for an earlier transition for the reader to accept less Berg. It'll make it easier for Mad World to become established as a regular feature because of its increased frequency. And it will allow us more creative time to decide what a third feature could and should be. Should the third feature solution involve characters, it will allow time for readers to digest the multitude of other characters already in development. Monroe, Melvin and Jenkins, Madversarials, The Dysfunctional Family Watching TV, and Mad Soap Opera. Two of those, I feel, were genius. Two of those were genius. Melvin and Jenkins and Monroe. I loved both of those. And so that kind of gives us a context. If the year 1996 doesn't help the context, this was right before Melvin and Jenkins and Monroe burst onto the scene. So I want to go back, though, to the locate writers and artists who have specific firsthand and who are able to give us a steady flow of material. This is the biggest challenge that we face. Now, I've said before that what I feel is perhaps a problem that Mad faced is that they had this extremely strong stable of artists. And I think if I said, asked anybody, name 5 Mad artists, they would be able to name, like Mort Drucker, Dave Berg, Sergio Aragones, maybe Prohias, and who else? I can't even name one. Duck Edwing, right? So you can probably name 5 artists quite easily. And I mean, people who watch the show would probably be able to name 5 a lot more easily, or many more than 5. But there is that sort of core group of artists. And I feel like that core group of artists was shrinking. And Mad did not do enough, or maybe was unable to, despite their best efforts, to bring in new talent. So obviously there was entry of new talent into there, right? Like the 90s brought us Tom Bunk. The 2000s brought us Tom Richmond. And those are huge names. That's not like, you can't argue with that. They became part of that stable, that like household name for Mad fans. And that's it, though. So the stable was shrinking faster than they were adding people in. And thus you have a problem like this. Being able to find somebody who's able and willing to supply a steady stream of material was the biggest challenge that we had. And it came to the point where, Mad, that stable had shrunk down. And there were a lot of people who submitted to Mad, of course. I've had many of those people on the show to interview, but not enough that like stayed and got those regular gigs or like those features that became a recurring part and became that thing that felt like Mad, like the way that a Mad Look At is, or at the time maybe that Melvin and Jenkins was. Anyway, so that's my breaking news from May 31st, 1996. Here we go. Yeah, all right. So Sketchy is saying, oh yeah, all the people. Well, here's the thing. I love Dalton Vaughn. I love Kyle Bridget. They're not a part of that stable though, right? They're very talented. This says nothing of talent or ability. It has to do with like regularly being featured or having something that people come to, having something like Snappy Answers or the movie parodies or the inventions or the lighter side of, or a Mad Look At. That's the difference. Herman Mejia started in the 90s. Yes, that's another dude. And gosh, that's a guy I want to have on. Herman Mejia is awesome. I love his style so much. Yeah, so like I said, there were people coming in, and there were people of high caliber coming in, but I felt like the stable was shrinking of that ability to consistently put that work in. Anyway, very informative. I guess you were in the Patreon fund. Thank you. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm going to hide this because I'm going to talk another thing that is no longer breaking news, and that is the sale of Warner Media. Discovery and Warner Media merge, creating one of the largest U.S. media companies. Maybe you didn't hear about this. I don't know. Maybe you don't know why this would be important for Mad Magazine, but it is some pretty big stuff. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm not going to make you suffer through all of that. But AT&T announced on Monday that Warner Media and Discovery are merging to become a new company that will immediately become one of the largest U.S. media businesses. Oh, I forgot to say, I meant to say this. If you haven't already, please hit thumbs up on this video, share it out, leave a comment. All that stuff helps. Furthermore, make sure you stick around to the past this thing, because I'm going to talk about Kenny Keil. Kenny Keil. Kenny Keil might take over Mad Magazine. It's not exactly true, but he made a funny tweet. The new company is the result of AT&T spinning off Warner Media, which owns a variety of other major media properties, including CNN, TBS, a whole bunch of stuff, and merging it with Discovery, which owns a bunch of other stuff. AT&T will receive $43 billion worth of cash money, debt securities, and Warner Media's retention of debt. The new company will be led by Discovery CEO David Zaslav. All right. This is my understanding of it. Imagine you have a box, right? And I'm like, I'm going to sell you this box. And you're like, okay, how much? I'm like, all right, well, it's $10. And you're like, okay, I'm going to give you time. Go, yeah, here. So I'm going to give you this. And this box is full of good things that you want, but also it's full of negative money. It's full of debt. So you're giving me $10, but you're also going to owe like $2 to somebody when you buy this off of me. And that's basically the situation. They've gotten rid of Warner Media. They've gotten rid of some debt. That's good for them. Is it good for Mad Magazine? I don't know. Who knows? Nobody knows. But Warner Media owns DC, and DC owns Mad Magazine. Now, AT&T, if you don't know, they're a telecommunications company. That's how they make money, is like making telephone calls, I guess. But that they are not in the business of creating things. So it might be me, looking through rose-colored spectacles, but the fact that DC or Warner Media is being sold to a company that makes things, a company that creates things, to me, that bodes well. To me, they're buying this and they'll want to do things with their properties, whether that's superhero movies, whether that's comic books, and whether that's magazines. TV parodies are coming back, but we're only allowed to do HGTV shows. Man, that memo came down quick. Hey, Tom, can I buy, do you have any old memos that I can buy off of you? $10. Yes, Taco goes $10. This is actually that's all you have to buy this for. They're dealing in millions, but I'm dealing, come on, you know me. So to me, this is like, it's a little bit of a silver lining peeking through the storm cloud. AT&T made me nervous. They made like this huge buy, and they immediately started just chopping things apart and like just getting rid of, closing down things. It seemed, I don't know, it made very little sense to me, but I'm not a CEO, so no wonder it doesn't. But I'm hopeful that this will mean good news for Mad Magazine in the future. Excellent. Hey, also, Tom Richmond, don't forget, TV parodies, TV and movie parody, no, just movie parodies are back on your Kickstarter, your Indiegogo. Ah, snap. I screwed that up. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Desmond Devlin and Tom Richmond have an awesome Indiegogo where you can get a big ass book full of all of, like, not all, like like 12 movie parodies that Mad never did, and it's by two of the greatest Mad movie parody artists of all time, Desmond Devlin, writer, and Tom Richmond, on those slinging those inks. Tom Richmond. All right, now I need to get to this Kenny Keil tweet. Oh, all right. Hold on. I'm going to do something real quick. No, don't log in, because then you'll see my information. I know this makes for bad television, guys, but you're going to have to deal with it. Here we go. Boom. Claptrap. Check out that link in the description. Check it out if you have not already. Still in demand. That means that you can back it and get all sorts of awesome things. I'm not going to go through all of that, but check it out. All right. If you can't get it through Mad Magazine, you got to get it somewhere. You got to get your fix. Kenny Keil today, no, not today, 2 days ago, texted, how chaotic is this Warner Media Discovery merger right now? If we just walked into DC and started cranking out new issues of Mad Magazine, would anybody notice? And so I replied to that. What did I say? Let me see. I can't even find it. I have to say that just that warmed my heart. My reply was, I like that Kenny just made himself de facto editor-in-chief of Mad. People are sliding into his DMs with resumes as we speak. Now, the best part of this is he did... where is it? Boom. He did offer me a position. I'm at Kinko's getting the business cards made right now. What position do you want? Kenny, I told him I want the one that lets me be most judgmental. He says judge, but I think it might be editor. I think that's the position where you get to be the most judgmental. Oh, look at a little smiley face. Anyway, that is all the Mad news that I have to report on. So, I got to find Bradford Smith. I got to drop his info into that too. If you guys have any questions right now, just drop them in the chat, and I'll stick around for a little bit and just BS. But for the most part, that is all the news that is fit to print. If you guys are on Twitter, you got to follow Bradford Smith. So check that out in the link. He has one of the greatest Mad Magazine collections of all time. And I would suggest that you check out my interview with him, because it's just fascinating. I should have him on the show again sometime. The letter E again. I do not get this. Is this some sort of humor? Wait, I live right near you. There's tornado warnings right now. This is worrisome. Well, I'm in my basement. I guess it's fine. Anyway, thanks for coming by, Tom Richmond. Taco Ghost, thanks for coming by. Yeah, follow Bradford Smith. Go check out Tom Richmond and Desmond Devlin's Kickstarter. Get your fix. And I don't know, nobody's saying anything in the chat, so I think I'm going to boogie. But this has been Mad News. Max Corn reporter. Thank you so much for tuning in